Inner Quest explores various pathways through which you can connect with the infinite wisdom of the universe and apply it to personal, professional, and spiritual growth. This program, featuring accomplished practitioners, educators, and authors, is provided by Infinity Foundation, an innovative center for holistic studies and research. We invite you to share this journey with us.
Hello, welcome to Inner Quest. My name is Jay Stone, your host for today, and our guest is Dawn Silver. Welcome, Dawn.
Hey, Jay, thanks for having me.
Dawn is a naturopath, author of Jewels of the Lotus Tibetan Gemstone Oracle, astrologer, founder of Healing Earth Resources, and a social, environmental, and political advocate. And I'd like to add, if you've had anything to do with the New Age or healing community in the Chicagoland area in the last 20 or so years, you probably have crossed Dawn's path somewhere along the way. Dawn also has a nationally recognized lecture series called Jewels of the Lotus Crystal Healing Certification Program, and she travels throughout the year teaching, doing radio, TV, and cruise ships. Instead of talking about her greatest passion, the crystals and the jewels and astrology. Well, we're going to focus on astrology, and I really thank you for taking the time to do that. You know, it was something you didn't want to do, but I really, I have so much faith and confidence in your ability, and I think our audience is going to do that too.
Thank you.
And so today you're going to talk about Pluto's ingress through Capricorn. Why should we be interested in that?
Why should we be interested in that?
Yeah.
Well, you know, astrologers believe that even if it's a comet or an asteroid or a small particle, no matter what, we feel the effect of it. And so it's an interesting scenario that we have going on because there's now a new word in the dictionary, which is to be Plutoed. You've been downsized, so to say.
Okay.
Because Pluto is no longer a planet. So you've just, so now we could say a person's been Plutoed or a company's been Plutoed. They've been downsized, so to say. But yet the principles of Pluto, it's so interesting, show this effect of how something so infinitely small can have such a profound effect on the greater good, on the greater, you know.
I could think of the words of Albert Einstein. Einstein said if you touch a flower, the petal of a flower, you move all of nature.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One thing rocks the next.
Yeah. So downsizing could actually be good. You know, I think about, you know, like my parents, you know, when they became empty nesters, they've downsized, or some of my friends now are empty nesters, they're downsizing. So downsizing is all relative, whether it's positive or negative is up to the person. Anything else you want to say about Pluto? Well,
our country, this great country, was founded with Pluto and Capricorn, and that's why there's all this buzz about Pluto going into Capricorn, because Pluto will go through a sign and take perhaps anywhere from 11 to 30 years. And so we're going to feel the effect on a bigger scale than if it were just, you know, Mars or Venus or the moon that changes sign every so many days.
And so what is this effect we're going to experience?
Well, that's a big one. So it's been 248 years, and Pluto came back into Capricorn now. It just came back even 3 weeks ago. And what's interesting about it is because Pluto rules oil, and we're going to go through all the different signs that Pluto goes through and the different periods of history and what it meant to us. But Pluto rules oil, and just 3 weeks ago, Hugo Chavez of Venezuela, one of the largest oil producers in the world, was on TV saying that he's considering no longer serving the United States with oil. So when Pluto goes into a sign, it leaves us completely changed. It goes in there and it creates kind of a volcano. It kind of erupts, and it's going to create social and economic changes inherent in the properties of the different signs.
Now, I know you do private astrology readings. Do you ever do astrology readings for people in the financial industry, investment, stockbrokers?
Some. That's not my specialty, and believe it or not, in astrology, there are specialists in everything.
What is your specialty, Dawn?
Human relationships. So I do a lot of couples astrology. I do a lot of just growth, personal growth astrology. And that's what I specialize in. And what I really want to specialize in is medical astrology. And it's really interesting because I petitioned the universe to learn more about medical astrology, which there isn't a lot written on. It's really a very intense study. And just as I said that, Mars went retrograde. I wasn't paying attention. Mars rules blood and Mars rules iron in the body. And I'm born under a Mars retrograde, which only happens once every 2.5 years. So when a planet is retrograde, it affects you more when that planet goes retrograde. So I wasn't paying attention. I'm paying attention to everybody else. And here comes Mars. And it's retrograde right on my moon, which rules the female cycles as well as the enzymes of the stomach. Well, I'm born with a vitamin B12 deficiency, just so happens to be. And the stomach enzymes, the intrinsic factor, is what helps to produce the B12. So here comes Mars, which rules the blood and iron, and it's retrograde, so it's pulling its forces away. And I became anemic for the first time since I was a kid. And it was amazing. So it was amazing to go through that and to experience that.
It's like a cycle occurring.
Exactly.
But this, because of your experience, your knowledge, you're able to catch the cycle a lot sooner.
But I didn't.
Well,
I had to suffer and be a space cadet for a few weeks or more.
You know, you mentioned medical astrology. I actually had a medical doctor from India give me an astrological reading. That was pretty cool.
Right, and they specialize in what's known as Vedic astrology. So they will look at your astrologies, and they will tell you what your specific dosha is, whether you're Pitta, whether you're Kapha, whether you're Vata, and what combination of it. And so they will look at your chart and tell you what to eat, what not to eat, which nutritional supplements to take, and what sort of exercises and yogas to be doing, just from your astrology chart. And so I have to add this in because it's really interesting, because in Vedic astrology, they actually will look at your specific birth chart based on the time you're born, the place you're born, the day you're born, and they will tell you which gemstones and minerals to wear.
And that's your specialty.
That is my specialty.
Now,
that is my favorite subject to talk about.
You're wearing some beautiful jewelry. Does it have any significance? Is it to help with your iron or help with your performance tonight?
Actually, it's all to help enhance my performance.
Yeah.
No, but my coral earrings are ruled by Mars. Mars rules coral, actually.
Where do you find this stuff?
Well, this is my thing.
Yeah.
This is my thing.
You used to sell this jewelry at your store, Healing Earth Resources.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
but it was my passion as a kid. This was my thing.
So
I
you
love
feel
geology.
like God put you on Earth to do this.
To shop, right, for gemstones and minerals, if I could just convince my budget of that.
Okay, so go on. So this is coral.
This is coral.
Does that have any healing properties?
It helps to strengthen Mars, which is your blood system.
Okay.
So that is specifically.
And it's red.
And it's red. Admittingly, I didn't wear the stones I would usually wear because I wore something that was orangey today. I offset it with turquoise. But turquoise is really interesting because it plays upon the skin, in that you have buffer salts in the skin, and the turquoise, when it touches the skin, will be activated by the buffer salts to be reabsorbed into the skin to produce copper salts, which help to